You're standing in the doorway, looking at a box that promises to take the strain out of moving your loved one, but you can't shake the feeling that you might be swapping one set of headaches for another. You've probably heard stories about lifts that stall halfway, batteries that die in the middle of a transfer, or slings that just don't fit right. The last thing you want is to spend a good chunk of money on a piece of equipment that ends up collecting dust because it doesn't work the way you need it to. That hesitation is completely understandable. You're trying to protect both your wallet and the person you're caring for. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's walk through exactly what the Invacare Reliant Electric Patient Lift Bundle brings to the table, why it might be the right fit for your daily routine, and where the blind spots are that you should keep on your radar before you click Add to Cart. First off, the category itself, electric patient lifts, is all about taking the manual muscle load out of the caregiver's hands. In a typical home setting, you're dealing with a bed that's maybe a few inches off the floor, a bathroom chair that swivels, and a wheelchair that you need to get in and out of several times a day. The lift you choose has to negotiate those height differences, handle a range of body types, and do it all without making you feel like you're operating a piece of industrial machinery. That's why a lot of buyers start by looking at capacity, battery life, ease of positioning, and the variety of slings that come with the system. The Reliant bundle hits the 450-pound capacity mark, which puts it in the upper tier for home lifts. If the person you're caring for is on the heavier side, or if you want the flexibility to handle a range of family members, that extra capacity can be a real peace-of-mind factor. The lift comes with a manual low base that lets you lower the platform close to the floor, making it easier to get under a low-profile mattress or a shallow bathtub. That feature alone can turn a clunky, awkward maneuver into something that feels almost automatic. One of the most talked about pieces of hardware on this lift is the padded swivel bar. It rotates a full 360 degrees, so you can line up the bar exactly where you need it before you start the lift. In practice, that means you can keep the patient's torso supported while you swing the bar to align with a wheelchair seat, a toilet seat, or a bedside chair without having to readjust the whole lift. Caregivers who have tried static bars often complain about the twisting motion they have to do with the patient's weight still attached. The swivel bar eliminates that twist, which reduces the chance of accidental strain on both the caregiver and the patient. Battery power is where the Reliant really tries to differentiate itself from the cord-dependent models. The included battery is designed for a full day of typical transfers. Think a morning lift from bed to chair, a bathroom visit, a repositioning on the couch, and a few more moves throughout the day. Because it's battery-driven, you're not tethered to an outlet, which is a huge win in a cramped bathroom or a bedroom where the power cord would be a tripping hazard. The ergonomic handle on the controller also helps keep caregiver fatigue down. The grip is shaped to fit the palm comfortably, and the controls are intuitive enough that you don't need a lengthy training session to get started. Now, let's get into the practical strengths that matter after the box is opened. The bundle includes a selection of slings, a full-body sling for bed-to-heel chair transfers, and a toileting sling that's narrower and easier to maneuver in tight spaces. Having those two right out of the gate saves you the hassle of hunting down compatible slings later, and it also means you can start using the lift for the most common daily tasks immediately. The slings themselves are padded and have reinforced stitching, which translates to a more comfortable experience for the person being lifted and a lower chance of the sling tearing under load. Another real-world advantage is the lift's height range. The manual low base gives you a low starting point, but the electric motor can raise the patient up to a comfortable standing height for most caregivers, allowing you to align the patient's hips with the wheelchair seat height without bending over. That vertical adjustability is especially helpful for caregivers who have back issues. You can keep a neutral spine while the lift does the heavy lifting. Of course, no piece of equipment is perfect, and there are a few trade-offs to keep in mind. The lift's frame is solid and built to handle the 450-pound capacity, which also means it's not exactly lightweight. You'll need a decent amount of floor space for storage, and maneuvering the unit around tight corners can be a bit of a dance, especially if you're dealing with a